Hello everyone and now welcome to another human versus undead matchup. This time it is between Chaemiko and XlorD. Chaemiko has spawned as the yellow human on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, XlorD has spawned on the bottom left hand side of Northern Isles. Well, plenty of good maps to go around now. Absolute blast. So much fun as we're going to be looking into another human versus undead matchup. For all you guys tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Please definitely consider following and subscribing on YouTube as well. I do post all of my casts and daily streams on YouTube for you guys to enjoy out there as things do get underway. XlorD opening things up. Altar of Darkness Crypt could be a Crypt Lord or Death Knight opening. I would be a bit confused and then have to do a lot of theory crafting if we saw, say, a Lich first, or if we saw, say, a Dreadlord first in this matchup. Archmage already being trained up here as we are looking at the barracks nearing completion as well. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Death Knight. No straight surprises, as the graveyard indicates that XlorD wants to transition into Crypt Fiends fairly quickly. Now, the meta has finally started to shake out quite a bit, and we're starting to see a little bit more consistent play. But I'm not saying that as a negative, though. Normally, you do want to see a bit of consistent play at the highest levels of the game. But what you want to make sure is that there is a wide variety of that consistent play. In years past, it always seemed like you knew exactly what heroes were going to be trained up in what situations. And we've seen Archmage still be the predominantly primary hero, but we've seen some good Blood Mage first. We've seen some good Mountain King first, and we've even seen some good Paladin first as well. With that, in Immortal Army with Holy Light and Devotion Aura. Coming back around, we're still doing quite a bit of engaging here. That No Warden's going to get taken down, and trying to drop down the rest of these remaining units. Acolyte is still a bit far away, trying to keep track of where that Archmage is and what is going on. Ring of Protection +3, Archmage's least favorite item, as although armor does make a very big difference and armor is very helpful, generally in the early stages of the game, if your hero is taking damage, the only way armor is effective, well, especially on your intellect-based hero, you're generally losing. You don't want to be chalking up any damage at all. Circlets of Mantles of Intelligence, using your more mana, having more hit points, better hit point regeneration, or even Claws of Attack, all of those generally the preferred items, as we see a quick illusion now absorbing and taking a little bit of that damage there. All right, illusion, another illusion now being thrown down. A great use of that wand of illusion to try and deny any sort of experience there, as we see that another Ring of Protection, an unfortunate item for Chaemiko, as that Archmage already has 38% damage reduction and may consider trying to become a tank in that front line position. Death Knight, now sitting at level 2, has Mantle of Intelligence and that Circlet of Nobility, making its way off to the north. XlorD is staying pretty tight on his build order right now at only 20/20 supply. He didn't get that second Ziggurat, and he started his upgrade to tier 2 rather early. His army is rather small, and he's not going to have much to do to try and challenge Chaemiko. The question is XlorD's quick tech to tier 2 going to be able to capitalize and do a bit of a timing attack on Chaemiko, perhaps being able to get into destroyers or get obsidian statues, all of those necessary units out just slightly faster. If he's able to catch his opponent before all of these scout towers and before all of this can be capitalized, that would be a great plus indeed, as we're looking at some skeletal minions quickly getting cleaned up here. XlorD hasn't been able to really take down all that many units, wants to use another Rod of Necromancy, perhaps spawn up some more skeletal minions as well, as the Scout Tower is nearing completion as well. Peasants also doing quite a bit of work, and these peasants are being microed nicely as Crypt Fiends are now joining in on the battle to do a bit of range damage onto those skeletal minions. Footman adding in some damage onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to retreat back here. Archmage well, has full hit points, and pretty much with all of that armor, not going to get threatened whatsoever. All right, Scout Tower quickly getting canceled and then re-put back up as the Death Knight gets a Death Coil off on that Crypt Fiend to back away. Yes, sorry. Okay. Death Knight still wandering around across here. Footmen, Crypt Fiends trying to back away. We should be getting up a Lich as well. We are getting up that Slaughterhouse, but there was quite a bit of a delay here. It feels like it should have been a little bit faster to start some of those things, perhaps getting that Lich out onto the battlefield just that much faster. Death Knight still sitting only at level 2 and is going to be forced to deal with the range attack of the Archmage as it comes back out here onto the battlefield as well. Skeletal Minions, another quick deny there. Archmage with Boots of Speed, able to catch up to that Death Knight and, well, do some chasing run and hits onto that Death Knight here. Death Knight does have Unholy Aura, trying to run away from that Archmage. Archmage just trying to, well, rack up a little bit of damage, and will he be able to do exactly that? You can see if Rings of Protection were actually helpful, he would have been able to do a little bit more damage here, but Archmage still maxed out on damage once more. Lich now out onto the battlefield, going to rack up a little bit of damage, perhaps try and head back home. Death Knight, sitting at level 2, has plenty of mana, but needs some hit points as well, as the Illusion may perhaps be able to get in front of that Death Knight once more. Death Knight of XlorD in a dangerous spot, sitting at 121 hit points, still running around, and Chaemiko is not letting this go easily. XlorD paid by taking a lot of damage onto this Death Knight to try and put pressure onto this town hall here. The expansion is finally up and running as the Archmage now going to be doubling back around, trying to chase in front of that Death Knight. Death Knight is off to the races once more, but does a left turn when he expected him to go right. XlorD double backing around, taking the long way home, hoping to be able to get back home without much of an issue. All right, picking up a Staff of Teleportation perhaps could be the better call here if he can actually visit a Goblin Merchant shop. Meanwhile, the Lich is continuing to do a little bit of creeping as well, trying to get some mana away from all of the action. All right, Death Knight looks like the long way round will be able to finally get him back home. But what is this? Archmage is nearby as well. Lich is not yet at level 2. This could be a big problem, trying to add in some damage. Perhaps try to focus down that Footman. Footman now down to 18 hit points, will end up surviving. Death Knight now nearby as well. Where is that Lich? What are we going to be doing here? Death Knight could go for Death Coil off onto that Crypt Fiend for a little bit of that save, as well as the units are still fighting their way through. All right, XlorD able to regroup with all of his units and ends up surviving. One Footman down to 22 hit points, able to survive after, well, dodging a bunch of damage and running into the undead base. All right, sometimes running into danger gets him further away from harm, so to speak, as the Death Knight now able to heal up as we're getting up that second obsidian statue. XlorD starting to get the army composition that he wants. Comments from the viewers saying that XlorD has already lost this game. I got to admit that XlorD has a bit of a problem here. However, if he can get to level 3 on the Death Knight and level 2 on the Lich quickly, he may be able to perhaps put in a lot of pressure on all of those units that are going to be coming out at tier 2. The Arcane Sanctum trying to train up Priest before they are fully adept or mastery training means that they have a bit less hit points and take a bit more damage, or get focused fire down just that much more quickly. Footman with Defend, is it going to end up just getting taken down? Yes, it is. Quickly taken down there. Lich gets a little bit more experience as we now go for a Pit Lord third. All right, immediate tech to tier 3. However, Archmage is dropping inside the base and now causing some problems. We're looking at the gold mine getting haunted, no web to try and take down this Goblin Zeppelin, and that could be a problem. Rain of Fire now coming back across as all of those units are trying to retreat back away. Footman, a bunch of heals once more, but no web being the main difference. And what are they attacking now? Not quite sure. Beautiful timing attack by Chaemiko right here, knowing that the presence of a Goblin Zeppelin is going to force the fight back inside XlorD's base. by doing this attack as well. One destroyer, however, going after the Zeppelin. This could spell problems. One destroyer, one gargoyle could take down the Zeppelin and really cause some major problems, as the Zeppelin is now down to 282 hit points. Is it going to be able to get away? Down to 255. It will be able to get away, but all of those things do need to be unloaded. Otherwise, they could be suffering quite a bit of dizziness. All right, units trying to retreat back here. What is going on? Leaving behind some of those footmen, as those footmen just take bonus damage instead. And now Death Knight is at level 3. Death Knight at level 3 could cause some more problems here, as we're looking at another Death Coil finishing off another low hit point footman. All right, XlorD perhaps getting gifted a game from Chaemiko, as Chaemiko seemingly makes a handful of mistakes back to back. All right, no true blunders there. XlorD getting up to level 2. Lich is getting close to level 3. Death Knight having the Pendant of Energy. Meanwhile, the Lich having the Robe of Magi. A little bit better auto attack. And this is a plus 16 damage Lich without an Orb of Corrupt, or with the Orb of Corruption. I thought for a second we didn't have the Orb of Corruption, which would have been strange. Anyways, coming back through, Ice Troll Warlord and taking additional damage per attack right there. Gonna get focused down. Healing Wards, a beautiful item to get picked up. Meanwhile, Chaemiko trying to finish off some of the Tuskar Sorcerers. Level 3, level 1, going up against what I believe to be soon to be level 3 Lich here. And that level 2 Frost Nova could make all the difference. It may come down to that, as we are looking at a Pit Lord with Cleave as well. Goblin Zeppelin overhead has a couple of peasants in the belly, and we're going to be looking at the Nerubian Web Spinner getting taken down here. Death Knight will stay at level 3. Pit Lord will stay at level 2. Lich getting up to level 3 is already scary enough, as items are going to get transferred around. Potion of Greater Mana now on that Death Knight. Lich still has plenty of mana as well, leaving behind a Circlet of Nobility. That is not what I was expecting XlorD to do. Circle of Nobility, one of the best items, item drops in that position here, but instead going straight for a Rain of Fire, trying to put down pressure onto the base here. All right, units continuing to retreat back here. That Circle of Nobility still being left off to the north. XlorD not paying attention and going to lose a powerful item. But it shouldn't make that big of a difference, as Chaemiko is still greatly in charge and in command of this game. Chaemiko with a little bit of cheeky play over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Gonna go ahead and clear out some of these trees in order to set down towers. Yeah, that is going to be quite a bit of a play, being able to place down towers and put pressure into this position here. All right, I would have thought that tree would have fallen by now. Come on, wait for it. Wait for it. There it goes. But still not enough room, I believe, to set up another tree. Needs to do another one indeed. There is a Crypt Fiend going back and forth. Meanwhile, back inside here, Pit Lord going to use that Rain of Fire, perhaps get in some damage onto some of those peasants. Peasant ends up surviving, as the Pit Lord is once more low on mana. Circuit of Nobility still off to the north right there. We are looking at a Scout Tower now being built. Is he going to build a Cannon Tower? And that would be a beautiful play. A Cannon Tower has fortified armor and does siege damage. By going for a Cannon Tower here, that Crypt Fiend will not be dealing that much damage either, while the Scout Tower will be able to deal more damage here, and there's going to be repairs by that peasant. Meanwhile, coming back around, Pit Lord is now sitting at level 3. Hero level advantage greatly in favor of XlorD, going up against Chaemiko, who's only sitting at level 3, level 2, level 1. Economy does make a difference, though, as Chaemiko does have a slightly larger supply advantage and has this little bit of cheeky play in the backfield. All right. Pit Lord, are we going to be looking at some damage? Yes, we are. There you are. Destroyer coming on in. Pit Lord could have tried to Rain of Fire down many of those towers as those peasants are coming in. Meanwhile, on the bottom right, Chaemiko taking the opportunity to try and catch up in the experience race by going after a red creep camp. Okay, bottom left, we are still waiting for the Goblin Zeppelin or this Cannon Tower to be completed here. And, well, it's more damage getting added in. Destroyers looking to finish off this last Arcane Tower, and now there's only one Guard Tower left here. 65 over 84 supply. It is going to be one base to one base. But, well, in comes the Cannon Tower as the Banshee unable to really get that much damage in, only dealing 2 damage per attack, and a Banshee getting taken out here as now the Haunted Goldmine under a bit of duress. All right, Scroll of Town Portal trying to retreat back here. Where's it gonna teleport back to? It does teleport back here, but how much damage can it really do to a cannon tower that has fortified armor? All right, Deathcoil finishing off that peasant there, and that cannon tower still racking up damage on that Haunted Goldmine. All right, little bit of a cheeky play. Goblin Zeppelin doesn't have anything in it. Crypt Fiend's trying to finish it off as the Destroyer now going after all of those units. There's a bit of a reveal right there as that Goblin Zeppelin could end up getting taken down. Rebuilding at the expansion by Chaemiko to take that expansion and economic lead. Also taking the bottom right-hand side of the map as well, as that cannon tower has been destroyed. And that was just a distractionary tactic. There are a lot of resources in WarCraft 3. And one of the resources that people often forget about is, well, the actual players' attention and what they are forced to do. By doing a little bit of a play here with a scout tower, with a cannon tower and a Goblin Zeppelin, it pretty much redirected and refocused all of XlorD resources to try and stop this attack on the expansion and try and protect his main base. And that was a great exchange and trade here, but it's still taking a little bit of time for Chaemiko to really get back on the equal footing in terms of the hero experience. 4-3-3 going up against 4-3-2, but the Lich is nearly at level 4 as well and will have access to Dark Ritual, meaning we should be looking, thank you for the sub, meaning that we will have Dark Ritual and more Frost Novas. All right, back over here on the bottom right, a lone ghoul trying to finish things off here. Scroll of Staff of Teleportation. Are we going to see a ghoul finish off any of these units? No, straight up ghoul going to get taken out. Very much quickly taken out right there. Could have taken down a peasant or two if he had just tried to stay over there temporarily. So far, though, Lich still looking to get a little bit of experience. There is enough experience off to the north at that 12 o'clock expansion location, or a creep location, to do much, as we are looking at, well, Banshees by XlorD. Anti-magic shell, such a powerful ability. Rain of Fire now coming down as well, trying to finish off many of these peons as they are trying to work, and they're going to get taken down once more. In comes the army of Chaemiko. Chaemiko says, you know what, I'm not going to try and defend my expansion. I'm just going to go ahead and attack your main base if we're doing a base trade here. All right, still more repairs are in order. Flying machines are going to start to slowly get webbed down here and get taken out as the units are backing up. Chaemiko actually in a bit of trouble here, not quite sure what he wants to do. He cannot afford to let this expansion fall, but he can't really dive on into the undead base either. 74 supply compared to 66. Chaemiko now being forced to deal with a meat wagon on the other side, as the Banshees and the Temple of the Dams are now getting destroyed slowly but surely. Coming back the other way, Archmage, Deathcoil, Frost Nova already down to half life. Will it be able to slip back away here? That is the question, as the Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Scroll of Town Portal to quickly get away. All the units are going to be retreating back. Temple of the Dam was destroyed, but, well, a tactical retreat was what was needed. 1 footman, 2 footmen actually being left behind here. Ghoul is trying to finish things off, trying to take down 3 of these footmen now just trying to get taken down as well. That does give the Lich now level 4, as the Pit Lord is getting closer there as well. Bottom right-hand side of the map, we see a couple of arcane towers, guard towers, anti-magic shell. We could be looking at Rain of Fire trying to come on in, as the unit's going to be coming into an engage. All right, Destroyer going to try and devour some magic here. Well, no Devour magic. Not quite sure why. There's the Devour magic finally getting in some damage here, as we see a Staff of Sanctuary saving that Knight. Units trying to make their way back out. Holy Light saving that Mortar team just in time before the Crypt Fiend's auto attack could get onto its target. All right. Apparently, players are saying Chaemiko now lost, as the Pit Lord could try and just rain a fire in this position, stop many of those peasants, take down those towers. Not quite sure what XlorD is thinking in this situation. He needs to stop that. Perhaps he needs to get a little bit more mana on that Pit Lord before he can get in more rain of fire. Chaemiko now bursting into high upkeep, though. And remember, this is XlorD all off of one base. There's still 5 minutes of mining left here. What is going to go down? There is a quick reveal, and making sure that there are no hidden units anywhere amongst any invisible units hidden amongst that army, as anti-magic shell quickly being used here as well. All right, XlorD does have a sentry ward. Banshees with anti-magic shell cast across multiple units. Just an army of green. Very difficult to rack up any damage with that Mountain King, as that Mountain King may try to dive on in. Does have a bit of slow effect there, as the Knights Spellbreakers are going to try and engage once more. All right, nothing really fighting off over here. Water Elemental still off to the side, 90 over 96 supply, and we are looking at, well, 7 gold mined per second by XlorD compared to 8 gold mined per second by Chaemiko. That is the difference between low upkeep and high upkeep. A little bit of additional damage here. Is the Pit Lord going to try and fight its way through, getting in a bit of damage? There is a Thunderclap, still affects the slow of all of those units, as the Banshees are going to get cleaned up here. Mortar teams now standing amongst the fire and flames in the back position, going to be forced to retreat back. Holy Light saves one mortar team right there, as there is still more damage added on through. 68 supply compared to 87. Chaemiko with a sizable advantage in terms of army supply, and now being able to catch and slow down some of these units once more. Crypt Fiends try to turn things back around, try to rack up more damage, as well as the Pit Lord is leading the charge. Could end up losing quite a bit of mana here, as the, well, rain of fire racking up damage across multiple units in that backfield. Multiple mortar teams taken down. A lot of DPS lost. 78 supply compared to 62 now, as the units are retreating back. Pit Lord just shy of level 4, as there's going to be 4-4-4 here in just a moment. Pit Lord now perhaps going in for level 2 cleave. All right, big damage across the board, but now Death Coil straight up onto a mortar team right there, getting blasted in pretty much a moment's notice, as we are retreating all the way back, and another bit of damage added back, taking down another 5 supply worth of units. Another mortar team getting taken down. 68 supply compared to 69. XlorD really clawing his way through this, and is now dangerously close to level 5 on his Death Knight. Death Knight also with dual pendant of energies and a potion of greater mana. That is going to be a lot of mana on that Death Knight when the time comes. Just drop the double pendants, use that potion of greater mana, pick it back up, and suddenly that 250 potion will actually give close to 450 mana right there. Continuing this engagement once more. Mortar teams continuing to, well, units still looking to back away. Death Knight could try and go get off a Death Coil here. Well, nope, needs a lot, nothing to Death Coil at all, really, as the XlorD needs to consider his options. Main mining base nearly mined out. This location still has about 2 minutes of mining left. This location still mining pretty freely, but Chaemiko is now back in low upkeep. It is 14 gold a second compared to 7. XlorD has the hero level advantage. Chaemiko has the army, what should have the army size advantage, or at least has the economic advantage here, as a ghoul is being sent off to the north to clean up the remains of everything you see here. All right, anti-magic shell being recast across multiple units. We could be looking at another big fight here momentarily. Archmage using that crystal ball, trying to reveal locations all across the map, trying to see where the expansion is. Army is down to the south, and it pretty much looks as though XlorD is trying to set up an expansion down to the south here by keeping his army here, not realizing that there's actually a hidden expansion off to the top left that's trying to be established. 85 supply going up against 77. More flying machines getting added, no, more mortar teams now getting added in, as we're looking at an oncoming battle here. 2-0 upgrades compared to 2-1 upgrades, or 1-1 upgrades, depending on if you're holding a sword or you're holding some sort of gunpowder attack. All right, Lich not able to charge on in. Plus 28 damage on this Lich. The auto attack of that Lich, absolutely scary, as we could be going into an engagement here. A couple of webs here, fighting in a very, very narrow position. What is going on? Mountain King and XlorD was asleep at the wheel. He could have gotten into a proper position and fought extremely well. Mountain King could be in trouble, though. Down to 135 hit points. Mountain King is lost. Mountain King is now down. No more Thunderclap. However, the Militia now trying to charge on in. Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Will he be able to stay alive here? Down to 212 hit points, down to 133. And is he going to be able to stay alive, trying to just fire off death coils against multiple units? All right, Pitlord continuing the fight and is able to retreat back. 65 supply compared to 75. Chaemiko losing the Mountain King, and XlorD losing quite a bit of his units as well. All right, Knights trying to get teleported back home. A single ghoul still working hard to try and take down the remains of this outpost, as the Acolytes are going to start mining here as well. Pitlord trying to lead the charge here. Destroyers trying to catch up. Death Knight does have Unholy Aura level 2, faster movement speed ever so slightly, but still needs to find a way to heal up a good amount more hit points. Mortar Team's getting a quick volley onto that unit right there. Death Coil continuing to save. Lich could try and land a Frost Nova down onto some of those trailing units, or onto those Mortar Teams. There's Rain of Fire down across multiple units. Frost Nova goes down as well, and that could be a large amount of damage to just rack up right there. Death Knight still not in a little... This Death Knight still not in any real danger. Big Frost Nova against Chaemiko in the front line center. A lot of Knights are low on hit points. Are they going to all get taken down? That is the question, as another Knight escapes away at 126 hit points. Paladin trying to chase after the Death Knight. Death Knight is already at level 5 here. Spellbreaker's trying to chase after all of those units as well, as we are at 68 compared to 64. XlorD looks like he has taken the lead, now sitting on a level 5 Death Knight with no Mountain King to really challenge him. Death Knight now making its way back down to the south here. The expansion here is the main mining operation, and it could easily get cleaned up. XlorD, Pitlord going to try and rain a fire. No, just trying to dive on into the situation and trying to stop much of this. Meanwhile, the flying machines are looking to engage, unable to do very much. All right, looking to continue this fight here. Arcane Tower could easily get cleaned up. Pitlord, however, low on mana. Lich still low on mana as well, but should be able to get replenished off of these dual obsidian statues pretty quickly. All right, Arcane Tower going to quickly get taken down. One more final volley. It gets taken down. Lich sitting at level 4. If it gets to level 5, level 3 Frost Nova will pretty much spell instant doom and death for all of the remaining support units. Those mortar teams that have been trying to just shell and lob damage cannot survive against level 3 Death Coil and level 3 Frost Nova. All right, with that said, I believe the writing is on the wall. The tipping point has been reached. Lich's Death Coil, Frost Nova, auto attacks are going to be far too much for those mortar teams to really do anything. And then, well, if the Knights are in that frontline position, they could get bursted down as well fairly quickly. All right, off to the north here. No Acolytes mining off to the north. There is 4 Acolytes sitting in the middle of the map. Not quite sure what they want to do, as this Acolyte here is repairing this obsidian statue. Base off to the top left getting cleared up once more. Knight, is it going to end up getting taken down? Frost Nova could add in a little bit of damage. No, does not want to waste the mana, as the obsidian statues are just too far behind. And, well, I believe that Lich wants a little bit better targets. Mortar teams trying to get in some damage. Should be able to finish off that Haunted Goldmine pretty quickly. Level 5 now on the Pitlord. Level 5 heroes going up against a level 4, level 3, and only a level 3. The Paladin only at level 3 is perhaps a major setback as well. Crypt Fiends are looking to fight off over here. That Circlet of Nobility perhaps would come in handy, as some of those crypt or those flying machines are now getting webbed down. Are we going to finally see a bit of a stand here? Mountain King back out here onto the battlefield. A lot of damage added back up. Mountain King in that frontline spot, absorbing a lot of damage. Potion of Invulnerability transferred over just in time, as the Pitlord is still trying to fight and finish off many of those Knights. Mortar teams are in a bit of trouble. Holy Light saving the Mountain King, still fighting away. Staff of Sanctuary saving the Mountain King, who was in that... saving a Knight who was in that frontline spot. Mountain King getting doubly healed, as the Paladin got up to level 3 in time for that 400 burst heal. Continuing the fight here. Paladin could be in trouble. Paladin down to 27 hit points. It gets taken down. Mountain King could be next, but we're looking at 58 supply compared to 45. Both sides are still fighting. Another big thunderclap racking up a large amount of damage, but I believe Chaemiko has just suffered too many losses here, as the Pitlord is just diving on into this frontline situation with no real regard for anything else. Another mortar team getting taken out once again. 52 supply compared to 33. And in a marathon of a match where XlorD significantly mined less gold than Chaemiko, he takes the win. All right. Beautiful, beautiful game right there, back and forth. Let's go ahead and take a look at the resource score. The amount of gold mined by Chaemiko, 6,500 more gold mined after gold lost to upkeep. And still, XlorD was able to carry his team to victory there. Beautiful play by Chaemiko. A lot of cheeky style, cute styles of play, keeping XlorD off balance. But XlorD was able to use the map against Chaemiko and get to a higher hero level. Once the Undead was able to get to dual level 5 on the Death Knight and the Lich, it just seemed like the writing was on the wall, especially with the Paladin still being only at level 2. Let me know what you guys thought about this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.